Now moving on to our X-Men rosters.
Yes. Now I'm just going to put it out there.
Uh-huh.
I have one of my picks is technically not in the X-Men. He'd be under Magneto. He'd be on the sort of villain side.
Okay.
But I just, it's like, it was a thought I had, and I was like, I kind of just want to put him there.
So we've both given ourselves 7 characters.
Yeah.
So we've got to choose the characters, and then we're going to choose the actors. So would you like to name your characters first, Horace?
Okay. So the outlier, the slightly outlier from an X-Men squad would be Juggernaut. I have someone in mind for Juggernaut. But then we
Juggernaut has been on the X-Men before. We can do a script where Juggernaut's a good guy. That's
true.
fine.
It's just, he's in that like in between sort of. I've got Wolverine. Felt that was kind of definitely a needed with what's coming. I have Bishop. I've got Jean Grey and Cyclops.
Okay.
And then I've got Rogue and Gambit.
Okay.
Quite big namespace of standard X-Men squad. So who's on your roster?
Okay, so my roster, I've got Cyclops and Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute must-haves. I've got my gal Storm.
Cool.
I've got Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Gambit. I've got Jubilee.
Oh.
And I've got Beast.
Ooh, interesting. I thought about Beast, but then I was like, I know they probably will use his face for it, but I was like, it probably lean more to voice nowadays.
Yeah. I don't worry, I thought about that. I really didn't want to just do the 97 roster, even though I essentially have.
I mean, I sort of have as well.
In my head, you can't have Cyclops without Jean or vice versa. And you can't have one of Gambit or Rogue, which takes up 4 spots straight away.
Yeah.
I wanted Storm and Jubilee, and without Wolverine, I really wanted Beast.
Yeah, fair. See,
and then my 7 spots were gone.
I was similar. I was like, well, Jean and Cyclops makes sense. Got a Rogue and Gambit, and I was like, well, I want to do Wolverine because we know there's going to be a new one. And then I had the idea for Juggernaut, so I was like, well, that's another spot gone. And then I had a great idea for Bishop that I sort of saw online. A lot of mine are some stuff I've seen online and taken suggestions.
I've got some Rogue
calls for my yours are probably going to be way more Rogue because I'm also not very good with celebrities. So it's like
I have to Google 5 of my castings.
Okay.
I promise you.
I'll kick things off with Juggernaut though, because it's sort of the outlier one here a bit.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him. Hafthor Bjornsson, also known as Thor, the Icelandic giant, whatever you want to know him as.
Yeah.
I thought we've seen him in Game of Thrones play that like huge sort of just soldier. And I was like, Juggernaut just needs to be massive and smash through walls essentially. And he's instantly has just the height and the stature that you would want for Juggernaut.
I get that. It's a good casting for going practical for it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, shall I do my
go on,
Cyclops casting?
Yeah, let's kick it off with Cyclops. Let's get into that.
Okay, so for Cyclops, I've kind of tried to keep everyone in like the kind of 20 to mid-30s range where it makes sense here in this team, apart from Jubilee and Beast.
Okay.
Jubilee, I went for like a teenager. Beast, I went for whoever made sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to give too much away on Beast. So I've gone for an actor by the name of Luke Newton. Most famous for his role in Bridgerton as Colin Bridgerton. And I have some logic for this. He has the right look. He has the Boy Scout look.
Yeah.
But, and this is, I think, really important, a lot of the time, men are like, why would Jean prefer Cyclops over Wolverine?
Mm-hmm.
Women would turn up and see this actor having seen Bridgerton and be like, I get it.
Smart.
And I think that casting genuinely works for that reason. He's a
Yeah.
really good actor in Bridgerton. I really like him in Bridgerton. I think he does a good job. He's got the right kind of like, for want of a better word, Cyclops needs to be a pretty generic-ish white guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But he's like, he can grow out a beard to look a little bit more rugged if you want Cyclops to be a bit darker. He can go clean shaven if you want the true Boy Scout experience. I think he's a solid spot, and I'm really enjoying the quality of his acting. And I tried to pick as few people as possible that I haven't seen actively acting.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
I don't hate
that's my
that.
opening pick. I think he would do a really good job.
Okay.
And if Marvel do hire him, I want to cut.
Well, I'll give you. We'll keep on Cyclops here then. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I went for Scott Eastwood. He. Yes, I think so.
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him and his dad, but I saw his face first, and I'm like, yeah, that's Clint Eastwood's son.
I think also sort of has that Boy Scout kind of look about him.
White guy, but on the more handsome end.
Yeah.
It's Boy Scoutish.
Going from like photos and stuff on Google, like can have that sort of almost stern look that Cyclops often ends up with. Not in a lot of like huge things, so still sort of on that more under the radar sort of level, I would say.
No, I completely agree. I think that's a solid, at least visually casting choice. I've not seen him in much, but he could definitely pull off a Cyclops, that's for sure. Awesome. Do you want to hit me with your Jean?
I was going to say, should we do our Jean Greys?
Yeah, go
on. So I it felt like it needs to be a redhead.
Yeah.
Just to make things easy. Obviously, whoever it is could.
Hair dye exists, yeah,
but visually, it just makes it easier. Rose Leslie. I know it. Well, she was in Game of Thrones, which is what probably a lot of people will recognize her from.
Okay.
She was also in The Last Witch Hunter, I think, which was a so-so film. But I think she could, with my Cyclops pick, I thought they could match well together.
Yeah, no, I see the vision.
Because that's also part of the thing. Like they've got to make sense that they would be together.
Yeah, I completely agree. I quite like that casting.
Okay, go on.
She also looks incredibly young for 37.
Yeah.
So now this actress is legitimately unknown. I spent ages trying to find someone who was giving Jean.
On Twitter looking for starting up actors.
It was almost getting there. Jenny Ross. Geni Ross.
Oh. I don't know who this is, but I can see it. What's she been in?
She's done like 3 films. Nothing since 2019. She might have given up acting.
Bro, definitely just searched redheaded actresses.
I spent so long on Jean, Storm, and Rogue because I could not find the right people.
Yeah, they were difficult, I will say.
Yeah. I changed Storm 3 times.
Fair. I can see the vision though, and with your Cyclops pick as well.
Yes, with Luke, I think they would give. I think I've gone a little bit less. Edgy isn't the right word, but I can't think of the right word. I think I've gone more innocent looking.
Yeah, you've gone more like young and innocent pairing, where mine are a bit more like they've gone through a bit of stuff already.
Your Jean and Scott have already been traumatized 2 or 3 times. Mine are getting ready to go on their first mission.
Yes, young lovers
is more the vibe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I get
but I think she looks the part. Like this is the one actress on here who I've not seen anything they've been in. So the acting quality is the only thing that we might be concerned about.
Well.
But I was struggling. She has 3 credits for the last
Right. I'm gonna go a bit more, not the typical pairings that we've got matching up, just to break things up here. We'll go with Bishop from my list.
Yeah, let's have it.
Someone that, I mean, we both know, and quite a lot of people will know, and is probably gained a lot of popularity in the last few years. Laz Alonso, well known for The Boys.
Yeah.
I think could make a really good Bishop.
I see the vision. Is there any pictures of him with long hair?
That is...
I mean, he can just grow it out. I'm just curious.
And there is also wigs.
Yeah.
I think...
He's always kept his hair pretty short by the looks of it. But yeah, no, I see the vision. I absolutely see the vision.
Because he's great in The Boys.
Yeah.
And I think that sternness that he has, sort of like that presence he has in The Boys, I think could work really well as Bishop.
Yeah. The style of acting isn't phenomenally different to the point where you'd be like, can he make the jump? I think that's a really good show.
I think it'd also be kind of funny if he's on the show that takes the piss out of superheroes and then ends up on the MCU.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Next up, I've got Storm.
Okay, yeah. It was your Storm.
This one took me a while. I cycled through some names before I eventually landed on I think, the best possible casting.
Okay.
Maria Sten. Most notably known to me from Reacher Season 2. Also a former Miss Universe competitor, which I didn't know about her until today.
I could see her as Storm.
Yeah. I personally, this is it's one of the ones that took the longest, but this is one of my favourite castings I've gone for here.
No, yeah, I can see the vision for sure. Definitely can see her playing Storm.
And also, she in Reacher, she gives a very commanding of respect while not being cold. Which I think obviously is always partially down to writing for female characters, but it's a difficult thing to get the perfect balance of, and she nailed it. She's phenomenal in Reacher Season 2. And I think she'd just be perfect as Storm.
Yeah, well, Storm has to have that like presence about her.
Yeah, and like when Storm is referred to by people as a goddess, not just her powers, but just like the fact that she was also a former Miss Universe competitor is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, works so well.
It's just really funny.
Do you want to give me your rogue pick?
You want my rogue pick?
Yeah, your rogue pick.
Once again, I really struggled with rogue.
Same. It was a tough.
I thought I'd landed on someone, but then while scrolling, I saw another actress that I'd seen in a show before.
Right.
But the way the character she played in that show, like, it didn't line up for me. It was only when I saw a picture of her at an event that I was able to see the vision. It's Antonia Gentry from Netflix's Ginny in Georgia. She plays the daughter. In that, because she's playing a teenage daughter, she's dressed quite young. But when you see her on red carpet stuff, she's dressed like an adult, like she is. I can see her playing a rogue quite well.
I can see the vision.
I was in the lab with this pick.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen anything that she's in, but I can see the vision you're going for.
She's very good. The character she plays in Ginny and Georgia is a character who has a lot of trauma and is struggling with a lot of things. So I'm confident in her ability to deal with a character arc like Rogue would have, where she's struggling with this idea of not being able to have any kind of physical contact with anyone.
Yeah.
I know for a fact she's got the acting chops for that because I've seen her do it. The only thing we would have to deal with by casting her is a bunch of weirdos on the internet getting angry that she's not white.
Well,
but
that's just the
I'm
internet.
not letting that get it. Yeah, I'm not letting them get in the way of what I think is a genuinely really good rogue casting.
So my rogue casting.
Yeah. Who'd you go for?
Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm aware.
From the old Percy Jackson films.
Yeah.
I again struggled. There was like bouncing around a few different, and it's just like trying to find the one that feels like the right fit for one that would go kind of well with Gambit as a like personality wise, but then how we saw Rogue in like X-Men 97 of being that strong kind of powerful character that she is.
No, I see the vision. I don't think that's back on her door. She didn't even cross my mind, but the second you said it, I'm like, I actually quite like that. I think she did a really good job. Also, shout out to I forget her name. Is it Kiki or is it Coco? It's an actress who did a cosplay as Rogue, and a lot of her fans were like, "You should be considered for the role." She is very, very good. I forget her name.
I've googled Rogue cosplay, so
Rogue actress cosplay.
Oh, I think
Kiki Palmer.
Yes, I remember that now.
She did a really high quality photo shoot for like a Halloween.
Yes.
And she cooked in the role.
Yes, I remember that going around the internet.
Yeah.
Also would be like, a great pick.
If they wanted to do that, I would back it 100%.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to just choose like essentially another fan cast as my fan cast.
I get you.
That would definitely be a pick I would back to the house because she's also a very good actress. Next up, I've got Gambit.
Yeah, we might as well do Gambit, the pairing here.
I'm not sold on this, but
Okay.
I trust the actor.
Okay.
I've gone for a voice actor because I couldn't find anyone who naturally has the accent that I also trusted in the role.
Right.
So I've gone for an actor I trust who does a lot of voice acting work, so I'm confident they could get the accent right.
Right.
You know him. You love him. Sam Witwer.
Oh. Interesting.
My main concern was I've always thought of him as quite short, but he's 5'11", which actually isn't going to be a problem.
Do you know what? It's like you say, he's a voice actor, so you can trust that he would get the accent down. It's just so hard to visualize him with that accent because I'm so used to him as like Darth Maul. And it's like, but I don't hate that idea.
I just wanted to go with an actor I would trust to get the voice right and care about the character. And we know Sam Witwer was a massive nerd. If he got given a character like Gambit, my guy would go into the lab and come out different.
So, sort of similar wavelength of like struggled with finding someone who I like that obviously would have the accent off the rip or anything, but someone like we know very good at going into the lab, changing their accent. Austin Butler.
Oh, you bastard. Okay. I think Austin Butler is a very, very good actor. I don't like him, though. I look at his face and something about that. It's nothing personal. Everything he's acted in that I've seen, he's really good in. I just look at him and I don't like him. And if the person who got cast as Gambit, I just saw their face and it made me angry, it would ruin it for me. I agree. I think he would do a very good job. We would have to deal with him talking like Gambit for the rest of his life. But
no, it'll just be till his next role where he changes his accent again.
I don't think it'd be a bad casting. he's got that kind of
What if he
ruggedish
plays
charm.
Gambit so well that then you like him?
He's pulled off a masterclass, and I don't want anyone to think I have an agenda against him because I don't know what about it is. But I see his face, I'm just like, oh, I don't like you. But then he acts, and I'm like, oh, but you are a good actor, which is
It's
actually
just-
more impressive.
I feel like he sort of can fit the Gambit look and like the whole accent thing. Like we just know he'd then be Gambit for 6 months because he can't lose the accent.
Yeah, it's a really solid casting, and despite being 32, he looks quite young as well. He still looks mid-20s, which means he could play it for kind of 10, 15
I
years.
just realised
comfortably.
you said he'll sound like that forever, and if he's cast in X-Men, that means he is an X-Men for a long time, so yeah, he would.
Yeah. But maybe that'd make him more likable, because I love the
Maybe.
But yeah, no, it's not a bad casting choice. The second
just
he said
not-
someone who's going to go in their bag, I realised where you were going. I was like, no, this can't happen. I agree with your logic, but Marvel, please, for the love of God, I don't know if that's enough. Jubilee was another casting I really struggled with.
Right, okay.
I think this might be just kind of the way the world is set up. Women don't get enough credit, which means I don't know as many actresses as I should. So I did some digging.
Okay.
I did a lot of digging. I've come up with a name.
Right.
Lily Chi. Lily spelled as you would expect. Chi is CHEE.
Okay.
She is 20 years old. She is most well known for playing young Elektra in Daredevil Season 1 on Netflix.
Huh.
Which means she knows how to act in them kind of productions.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the young Elektra scenes had some fighting scenes built into them.
I think they did.
Training scenes at least.
Yeah.
I think she could do a really good job of Jubilee.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see the logic and I can see the vision.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
And I also think she's like actively young enough where she could help the writers make sure Jubilee's dialogue feels like a young person's dialogue and not an actor reading a 40-year-old writing a young person.
I also think like next to some of our other picks, like she looks and feels young enough to where she seems like the young one of the group, like she's meant to be, like the little sister of everyone.
Exactly. Realistically, we've got to accept Marvel aren't going to cast an actual 16-year-old.
Obviously.
But I think she could do a really good job.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that. I'm going to give you my Wolverine, the big name one of the of this segment, one that probably everyone's talking about the most, of like who is the next Wolverine. Now we've discussed this in the past. We've given the named favorites.
Yeah.
I tried to steer away from them because obviously we've already talked about them. And I can't remember if this guy has been in that conversation or not because it changes so often. Milo Gibson.
Oh, that's not a name I know.
Yes, that is Mel Gibson's son.
Okay, I kind of see what you're cooking. How tall is he? Because although it never used to matter, now it does apparently.
True. I didn't think about height.
He doesn't seem outrageously tall. Why is it giving it to me in meters? 175.
I mean, that's shorter than me.
Everyone's shorter than you, John. 5'9". We can make that work. We can make 5'9" work.
But like, there's a few pictures of him like quite rugged. If he turns out like his dad, I think if he's going to be Wolverine for a long time, like Hugh Jackman is, he could age quite well into an older Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that kind of... Okay, so I've gone into the pictures and I've scrolled down a little bit and it's just one. It's gone, who should replace Hugh Jackman? So it's clearly from an article or something. He's clearly been mentioned before, but I've never heard him mentioned before.
He's obviously not been in that top few that we've rotated
he's not in the
through.
Daniel Radcliffe, Taron Egerton.
I didn't think he had, but
I quite like that. I don't think that's a bad casting. I think Wolverine's a really difficult character to cast.
It's the one everyone's so fixated on because
Do you know what it is? You need to look at whoever is playing Wolverine, and you need to be able to easily imagine that they smell bad.
smell bad and have seen many years of war.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Milo Gibson does smell bad, but I look at him and I could imagine he could very easily. Like, he seems like one of the guys who, when they go to the gym, they come out and they're like, no, I have to have a shower straight away. Otherwise, I'm a bioweapon.
And I also like, there's a couple of pictures of like, he's got a pretty stern look. And I'm like, I can picture him as Wolverine in a bar, just pissed with the world.
And like I said, if he's like his dad, we know they've got like a good amount of like natural hair, which means the hairiness of Wolverine is already kind of baked in, which is also important. That's actually a solid casting, and you've not fallen in the trap of going for a popular name. Well done.
Thank you.
Right, Beast.
Yeah, who's your Beast?
Okay, so I agree with you. Beast is most likely going to be a voice actor. But I also am a big fan of like high quality CG tracking performances.
And sort of based off of their facial structure and stuff.
So I thought to myself, who is one of the best ever motion tracked actors?
Okay.
Hori, the coin is dropped for Hori.
Yep.
The one and only, the absolute GOAT, Andy Serkis. He is my Beast. It was the quickest decision. I looked at Beast, I stared at that name for 5 seconds, and I went, there is only one man for the job.
I mean, he's played a gorilla, chimp.
Yeah.
Which is close enough to Beast.
Yeah. He can do it. He knows how. He's a phenomenal actor, first and foremost.
Yeah.
He not necessarily enjoys, but he's very good at doing the motion cap performances and really getting into the character. I mean, he pioneered it in a lot of ways with his Gollum performance. I think he'd do a great job.
I think you're right there. Actually, I'm using my visual of like, Planet of the Apes, and obviously while using that, and just thinking of that blue, and you can definitely get the same vibe from him. I don't think that is a terrible choice at all.
That is the quickest decision I made of this entire process. Because I did the exact same thing as you when I said that I had Beast, where you're like, yeah, it's mainly going to be like voice acting and CG work now. So in my head, I'm like, right, so who can do that and who can do it well? So yeah.
Do you know, this is a rogue, like, just because I was just thinking voice actors. Very rogue choice here. Definitely nerd biased.
Okay.
Travis Willingham from Critical Role, who voices Grog in the animated series.
Yeah.
He obviously incredible voice actor.
What does he sound like not playing an idiot though?
Pretty like he can play like a.
Can he sound intelligent?
Yes. Yeah.
Because if he can do that, I'm sure he would also do a good job.
Because he's played other D&D characters since then in different campaigns that aren't idiots. He's the CEO of Critical Role, so he's an intelligent person. I just as you're talking about like voice actors then and like
he's
taking
also
it from
a
that
massive dude.
Well, yeah, he is.
He could play gorilla or gorilla adjacent.
Just as a rogue outside pick that probably many people won't even know who he is, but he's actually in a lot of games and animated things that people know.
He does a fuck ton of voice acting work. Yeah, no, I don't hate that casting at all.
Let's quickly go to his IMDb. What's he like? Wait, he was in X-Men 97.
Was he?
Sebastian Shaw.
Oh, he played Sebastian Shaw.
Huh.
He can't have done that in the original.
No.
The original Sebastian Shaw. Yeah, World of Warcraft, Mortal Kombat, Lego Marvel Avengers, Critical Role, American Dad.
Yeah, he was 4 in the Lego Marvel Avengers. So he's got that like.
He's done a lot. He's done Thor,
He-
Sandman, Flint Marco.
Superman in Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Like he definitely could do the voice, and I think he
Oh
could
my
come
god,
across
he was the voice of Jaro Tapor in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, he's
My
done
guy
so much.
has range. Holy shit.
Oh, all of the Critical Role cast do. But yeah, I was just then, and like obviously his visual helps picture him as
Oh, yeah.
as Beast.
You could have him on set in the motion captured suit, and he could just kind of walk around a little bit more.
Someone else, he's
animal-like.
done also done motion cap because of like games and stuff. So
Yeah.
someone else is well versed in using that.
Yeah, I don't dislike that casting at all. Andy Serkis is still forever my goat. However,
Well, yeah,
he's
he
my
will
first
always
choice.
be the GOAT.
And your last pick is?
Well, we did Juggernaut
how
at the
did that
beginning,
look?
remember?
Is that all your characters?
Yeah.
Juggernaut, Bishop, Wolverine.
Jean Grey, Cyclops, Rogue, and Gambit.
Oh, well, there we go. They are our X-Men cast.
Yeah, our X-Men squads.
One thing I'm really upset about is that I couldn't find a way to get Nightcrawler in.
I did think about Nightcrawler, but then I was like, again, it's kind of like the same realm of Beast a little bit, with like it'd just be more voice actory. And I was like, I'm gonna struggle with trying to figure that out. So
yeah,
I avoided.
That's fair. But yeah, they are our castings. Let us know if you have any fan casts for any of the characters we mentioned. Let us know if there's any X-Men you'd really like to see in the film and who you'd want to play them. And if you give us a generic Twitter answer, we're going to mock you in the comments.
Yeah. Let us know if you agree or really disagree with some of our picks. Maybe you really hate some of our suggestions.
I think we've really cooked. I think
I think overall we've picked some really solid choices here that aren't top of the like articles and stuff.
Yeah, no, I've pulled some names out of thin.
Yeah, you
have.
have.
Here, and I think they would all do a really good job.
I've gone just below, kind of like.
You have tried to cast two nepotism babies. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in.
It's
so,
Hollywood.
Yeah.